Hello, my model factory, Supreme Deliria back at it again, this time with a model that is not mine, and a new computer that is much better to use, and is so much more advanced than the old one. Feels very new. So, I can view this model in all of it. For those of you that, for some reason, don't know what this model is, this is the attraction. My apologies, I'm so used to calling it the attraction because of fan speculation and whatnot. But no, this is the animatronic from the new Dead by Daylight chapter, or as most FNAF fans know him, Springtrap. We've waited a long time to see him in Dead by Daylight, but now it is finally time, so I will finally get to break down the model and see what he looks like on the inside. That's a car, don't worry about that. But right off the bat, there's a few things we can notice about the costume. Notably, the raised bits don't actually appear to be here, but if they are, they appear to be hiding very well. We also don't have a discolored snout, so that's like it is in the games. This isn't made with the third fur material from the lower legs, so that's pretty different. This is a black, kind of like how it is for Springy Boy in the FNAF 6 Fruity Maze minigame. Another thing I would like to point out with the costume is that though he does have lower eyelids, which you might not be able to see upon first inspection, they are actually baked into the costume and they cannot move. This might have been done for simplicity or something to give off the look that he had lower eyelids. I'm not certain, but I felt it was an interesting detail. Another thing to add is that he does have his eye cases and glowing eyes, but he doesn't actually have a complete set of eyes, sort of. These are only pretty much sort of semicircles. They are at full eyeballs, and that's because of what lies behind them. Being this. Now, as you can see here, the head is a bit messed up, for obvious reasons. You have the wires in the mouth that have been put there by the costume, and Afton's rotting head. Love that, love that. He doesn't have any eyes, which is a bit unusual for a Springtrap model, or at least the Afton head. And you can also see the, what's the word I'm looking for? The band that holds the ears is broken and disfigured, so it kind of comes back here a bit, and that actually explains why this part isn't in place here. You can also see they've added on some extra detail with these nails or screws or little spiky bits that are supposed to go into this band. This part here, I don't know why this and this don't match up, but I'm gonna ignore that, because this actually looks really cool, and I like the detail. I like the detail here. Also, you can see this upper part of the ear. It's actually been broken and twisted to the left side, which is why his ear is like this in-game. Why it isn't just coming forward like it does on the normal model. Another thing is that a fair bit of the endoskeleton, or at least on the torso, is actually, if you would look here, it is baked into the textures of the corpse. So it's not really physical detail, I would say. It doesn't, it's no different mesh-wise from the corpse. And I thought that was really interesting to see, because you know, all of this other detail, it's all really physical. It's mesh-based. But this is texture-based. But to point out some other details that I thought were interesting, these are actually the spring locks from the movie Springtrap. Again, I thought it was pretty interesting. There's wires all over the place. And you can see how the back actually connects into the arm pieces, And also, and this is unusual for a Springtrap model, he has elbow pads. And they don't normally have that, so I thought it was a nice detail. Now, the hands, they're a bit different from normal Springtrap hands. They've been brought a bit inward on the joints. They've slimmed them down a bit. Maybe. I don't know, but either way, they've been made this way so that they can move easier. I suppose they'd be a bit more realistic, but at the same time, these hands, I mean, I still don't think they could really fit human hands, but at the same time, they are pretty realistic, I suppose. Also, as you can see, these joints, they kind of look bloody. The endoskeleton is pretty bloody because of what's all going on here. Also, what else? Oh, yes. Aside from this, I don't actually think there's any mechanical connection at the joints, which I found to be very interesting. It's all made through the fleshy bits, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the endoskeleton is in there. But we just can't see it. You know, it's not an actual details on the model. I'm pretty sure it's canonically inside of there. But regardless, you don't see the knee pads in the object I had selected here. That's because of the way the model was ported. Also, as you can see, there are some rings inside of the thigh pieces, and also you can see these rings are here inside of the thigh pieces, and he even has his ankle flesh like in the original model. It's a bit differently colored, obviously, for realism. I guess it was a different interpretation. And also an interesting detail at the feet, and yes, they can fit human feet. It's kind of like the hands. It's kind of like the hand with how it is. It don't know how I'd describe it, but yeah, it's built so that they kind of can go through, but at the same time, kind of can't. Again, it's difficult to describe. Like, in some places, you can see a human fitting their extremities through there, but in other places, you can't. Yeah, whatever. I mean, nothing's going to be completely realistic, and I really like the model, actually. I saw a lot of people had some problems with the proportions, but I can get into that. But regardless, you can see, right here, that the toe piece here, that's actually new from the original model. That would allow them to move the front part of the foot, so it's either a separate part. If it were encased in a suit foot, that'd be a separate part, or maybe it's a more flexible foot than what we're used to on FNAF models. The reason I speculate on that is because it doesn't actually exist here, much like in the original Springtrap model. Now, his limbs, or not the limbs, but the suit casings over it, are actually a tad bit short, and the endoskeleton's all showing through, like these bits here, which are like on the original. And I don't think there's as much withering. It's not as detailed, the withering, as much as Scott's model. But Scott's model was very high poly. I'm pretty sure we all know that. So that's fine. This is a professionally designed Springtrap. He has to be optimized. And again, I really like what they were able to do with what they had and the textures. He looks very nice. And yeah, as you can see, the proportions are most certainly a bit different than what we are used to in a Springtrap design. They're kind of more like the FNAF movie Spring Bonnie's proportions, I think. Personally, I'd say that. I mean, whether it's true or not, yeah, I haven't seen the model in a while. Movie Spring Bonnie. But regardless, I think he looks pretty similar, actually. And they do the head the same way, I think. So I thought that was a nice detail. Also, he has his pizza knife. It's very large. He had one in the Silver Eyes, and in the books, in the flesh, but I prefer not to talk about it in the flesh, because not a very good story. His pelvis is notably a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a bit smaller on the sides, and a bit taller than his original one. So again, more proportional readjusting, but I get why they did that. So they could make it more feasible for a human body to fit inside of Springtrap, because his proportions weren't well, they were believable until you thought about it too much and tried to put a human inside of him, the original model I'm talking about. So this, I'm pretty sure, could fit a normal human model, if you don't think about it too much. I think the shoulder pads also are supposed to move with the arms. Yes, they do. They move with the arms instead of staying static to the torso. And again, I found that really interesting. And you can also see these joints at the sides instead of a central kind of rebar-looking system going through the spring locks that they all connect to. Making it so that it was kind of like, well, I guess a skeleton. Let's see, what else? Oh, yes. You can also see that he's missing the raised bit for his belly. So it's all one material. And you can also see that he's missing his button. I noticed that a bit late, but I think it's fine, because I think the torso would have actually looked a bit crowded if they were all there. I could have done for the button, though. And something these arms actually kind of reminded me of was some old Springtrap artwork. There was this really detailed one in the past. But I suppose I shouldn't get into that. I could rant on Springtrap designs. Corpse now. Corpse. Did I go over everything with the corpse? He's missing teeth. I don't think that corresponds to where he was missing teeth on the original model, but I said about him missing his eyes. I said about the connections. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. Like in the books, his whole body is in here, and I have been saying that for a long time, that it should actually be his whole body that we see in the costume, not just little bits and pieces. It's a lore thing. But they appear to have given him a full body, so it's nice to see what Afton looks like this way, and I think I could even disconnect him from all of this machinery. Give you a better look at him. And look at him. No more wires, no more mechanical parts, just Afton. You know, and his spine brace, but regardless, look at him. His limbs have atrophied a bit, his pelvis has clearly decayed, his abs have been sliced, he's gotten a lot thinner, and his jaw, his chin, it isn't nearly as Chad-like as it once was, but regardless, he has a normal-looking chin now, actually. I already said about the teeth. He also has a tongue, which he did not have before. Very interesting. And he is also, as well as missing his eyes, but he's also missing his nose. And he finally has ears, which is new. I don't think we've ever seen an official Afton model that had ears. And look at all of those muscles at the neck. I think it's really interesting to see what a professionally designed William Afton looks like, because I've always wondered that, personally, what he would look like. And this really does live up to my expectations. I really don't think I could say that enough. These textures, they look so interesting. Look at all the blood. Look at all the blood that's on these textures. You don't normally see that on Springtrap models. Most of the ones that are made these days normally kind of just look really dusty. Really dusty. And the corpses look kind of brown. This one's kind of brown too. But I get why they did all that. Anyway, I'm getting off track. This is a nice model. I really like it. I can get where a lot of the criticism from the community is coming from. I do get it. But really, I just don't have the heart to complain about it. I think it's very nice that we've finally gotten Springtrap in Dead by Daylight, and that we've got his model from it. He looks so frickin' cool, and I love him so much. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, you should really subscribe. I could break down more models for you to look at in the future, so please do subscribe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.